Hello, I'm Daz. In this video I'm going to be showing you the locations of 10 of the 11 skill books that can be obtained in Solitude. So I'm actually starting this video in Potema's Sanctum, which is only accessible once you acquire the mission The Wolf Queen Awakened. And just in this final area where you collect Potema's skull, there we are. In this chest here we can find the Sneak skill book, Legend of Krately House. So just before I move on, I did say that I was going to show you the locations of 10 of 11. Now I'm skipping one because there is a copy very early on in the Catacombs area. It's actually in the area where you confront the first vampire, the room with the oil slick. In that room you can find a copy of the Lockpicking skill book, Surfeit of Thieves. I've chosen to skip that because we will be running into another copy of that book a little bit later in this video. And it's also proved impossible for me to backtrack to that area from this point because the revolving door puzzle has reset itself for some reason. So once I get through here, I'm going to be heading off next to the Blue Palace, where we can find 2 further skill books. Okay, so off we go into the Blue Palace. The first one I'm going to be collecting here will be the speech skill book, Biography of the Wolf Queen. This can be found in the Jarl's quarters. Actually, quite a few of the books in this video are quest locked. Obviously the first 2 in Potema's Catacombs. And the one after this one is also going to be a quest locked skill book as well. So there we are, Biography of the Wolf Queen. So the next one is down in the Pelagius wing. In order to access that area, you will need to start the Daedric quest, The Mind of Madness. You can do so by talking to the rambling guy that you can see pacing up and down outside of the Bard's College. So once we are given access to this area, actually before the skill book I will also point out that we have purple butterfly in a jar right there as well, if you want to collect that. But we need to proceed to the end of this corridor, which you cannot do until you've completed the quest and obtain the Wabberjack. But somewhere in here, there we are, Surfeit of Thieves, Lockpicking. You're not going to see any skill increases for me reading any of these books. At this point in my playthrough, I've actually read all 90 of the skill books. I've made separate videos for each of the skills individually. That door is a little bit sticky for some reason. Okay, so next I'm heading to the Bard's College, where we can find 1 or 2 skill books depending on whether you've activated a side quest, which I will explain in just a moment. First, I'm going to take us to the buying game, which is a speech skill book.
My papa says I'm a good game.
And the buying game can always be found in this schoolroom. There we are. On top of that pile. So the next skill book that can possibly be found here is Song of the Alchemists. This will only spawn once the player triggers this fetch quest for Lammy in Morthal. Otherwise the book will not be there. So next on the list is Song of Hrormir, the two-handed skill book, which can be found in Yarla's house. As you can see, I'm going to need to pick the lock. Luckily, I can become invisible, which should help. You may be able to enter this house at particular times of the day, I'm not sure. That is the case with many properties. But in any case, there is the two-handed skill book. Wow. I could have sworn I'd read that one already. So next I'm heading up to the blacksmiths. Where we can find a copy of The Refugees, light armour skill book. The door is sometimes locked on this property as well, depending on time of day. But in the room with the business ledger, we have our skill book right there. Next skill book, the Gold Ribbon of Merit. An archery skill book can be found in the Fletcher. And it is right there on the table. Then I'm heading into Castle Dower for another light armour skill book, the Rear Guard. And this final book will be Catalogue of Weapon Enchantments, and this is also a quest-locked area. So you're going to need to head into Castle Dower Emperor's Tower, which you will not gain access to until you get very deep into the Dark Brotherhood quest line. And hopefully I can remember where this one is. There we are. So, all done. 10 of the 11. I hope people have found this useful. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.